I got home, I drove to the bottom property, and I realized that all my neighbors and stuff were combing the woods looking for her, and I realized right then and there that she was not there. I knew right then and there that she was gone.
Statistically speaking, I mean, there's a good chance she's already dead if you look at it statistically.
Personally, I think someone came up here and grabbed her and ran down the hill.
I think so
and
too.
Threw her in a car and drove as far away as they could from this area.
It's his perception of reality. That's what we get from his words. We just apply the principles when we break these statements down. We unpack it with the principles, and we just apply it the same way every time. And it's what he tells us. And I said in the beginning when we started these segments, I'm going to believe him. I'm going to believe what his words tell me, because I'm applying tried and true principles to his words that always reveal the truth.
Remember this interview? It was with the Times News Online. It was June 22nd, y'all. Literally exactly 1 week after Summer was missing.
We just want our Summer back. She was definitely, I consider it a great blessing from God. She was a daddy's girl. She wouldn't even go to her mother for the first year, and they just kind of broke her heart. But I've never seen anything like that in my life, and I never expected anything like that. And I've just never seen nothing like this, and I don't know why she was like that exactly, but I mean, she's got her little friends too, younger boys that she wants to be with them all the time, and stuff. And I knew, someday she's gonna grow up and get married, and raise her own family. But
what is that all about, Steve?
Well, here's the context of that. I was going to pass it up, but I'm glad you stopped, because I was kind of wanting to explain to dig into this one. He just said, just knew it was something. And then he says, I just had this intense love for her. So Chris, you have never told me that you have an intense love for your wife, for your kids, but you don't have to, because I know they're your loved ones, and I have loved ones myself, and I have intense love for my wife. I have intense love for my kids and for my grandkids, and I don't need to tell the world that I have that intense love for them. I just do, and I don't need to tell the world because everyone out here has a family, and everyone has this bond with their family and their kids and loved ones. And it's intense, and it doesn't need to be stated. Who has a need to tell the world, to tell someone else that they have an intense love for their kid? Well, it's someone that needs to convince. It's someone that needs to build themselves up. He's portraying himself as a really good father that has this intense love for her. Chris, it's wrong. And it tells me that there's something under the surface that is severely wrong. This statement right here brings me full circle back to the essay, and it kind of turns my stomach a little bit, because this, to me, is, if I didn't have that essay in the language, I wouldn't be as concerned about this. But he says this, and then what gets me is he says, in that context, I think she knew something too. And it's implying that Summer had the same type of feelings towards him that he had towards her.
Listen to it again.
I've just never seen nothing like this, and I don't know why she was like that exactly, but I mean, she's got her little friends too, younger boys that she wants to be with them all the time, and stuff. And I knew, someday she's gonna grow up and get married, and raise her own family. But
he has a different context. He has a different type of love we've seen in prior language, and so this is what concerns me. And he's kind of putting it. There's a couple of different things happening here. It's in associating with this. I think she knew something too, so he's connecting that up with this intense love, and he's also implying that Summer may have known that she was going to die, that something was going to happen to her, which absolutely makes no sense to me.
Why is he saying, as a parent, you know something was going to happen to her?
I didn't know if she was just going to get accidentally run over. I didn't know what it was.
Did you think she would be kidnapped?
Never, nothing like that.
Okay.
No, I just knew it was something. I just had this intense love for her, and I think she knew something too. So I think something was, I don't know if you believe in guardian angels or what, but it's something. It's something. I'm really tore up. I loved her with all my heart, and she loved me with all her heart. I couldn't believe somebody could love me like that and look up to me like that. I don't know why she loved me so much, because nobody else in this world ever loved me like that. Like that.
These behaviors that they learn at a very young age ends up progressing up here in a fantasy, and it keeps projecting itself. So this is why it's critical to understand past behavior, which could be indicative of future behavior.
My stepsister is Jeannie.
And
we did have a relationship when we were younger, and she's just as guilty as I am.
so
She's trying to pull the wool over everybody's eyes, like she's a Miss Innocent and all this and that. Well, she's not.
I just didn't want him to touch me. It was really painful.
Yep.
And I hated it.
Yeah, I was a bit older. I had a dirt bike,
and how old were you?
I don't know, maybe 15, I don't know.
And how old was she?
I don't know.
So you were 5.
Yeah, 5.
She was a lot younger than me, and I thought this, and I remember thinking this, why would, I didn't think it was right, but I was too young to understand how girls are too. She would play with my thing and I would play with hers, and that's about it.
And what's the age difference when you're 5, if you remember?
He'd be 12, about 12, I think, 12, 13.
And how long did that go on?
I don't know, for a little while or whatever. She initiated all this stuff. I'm gonna tell you that right now. She initiated it, yes.
Okay. And then you just went along with it?
Well, I was a kid, brother.
You remember that first night you told me.
Yep, it was in my parents' bedroom. We were sleeping on the floor. So the second time would have just been when the little games started.
So he used a old trick to where he would ask you to say stop. Is that correct?
Yes.
And then he would continue forward until you said stop, but by then he was touching you intimately.
Yeah, he never took the stop. It was never a thing. It was always, you can't say stop. And that kind of went on for a while. And then there was the other things in between, but the dare game was the big one that always happened. It was any time that, I'd be playing in my room and he'd come in, he'd go to the bathroom and he'd come in. In the beginning, it wasn't all the time, but I would say it was at least a daily basis, or maybe 3-4 times a week at least. At some point, I start to ask him, I'm like, why do we got to play this game? Like, I don't like it. And he says, well, if you tell, then I'll die. And, and then it progressed to not only would he die, but everybody in the family would die. And so, I didn't want him to die. I didn't want anybody to die. When I was about 6, well, it was more 6 to 7 is when he started the more aggressive abuse. So then it just started where he was coming into my room at night instead of doing this more during the day. It was more at night, and he was getting more aggressive in the stuff he would do to me. I don't really want to get too into it because I probably can't talk about it, but you know, I would try to do things like wear several pairs of pants to bed. You know, I remember I tried to put up a booby trap one time, and I strung some yarn across the door and I put soda cans on it, you know, so that I could at least wake up, or in hopes that maybe he would wake up some of the other family members.
From 6 to 7, how often would he come into your room that night?
It was pretty much every night. If he was there, because there was some times when, you know, he wasn't there, but he did live with us. There was a couple of times, like one night when he was in my room doing stuff to me, my dad got up to use the bathroom, and the bathroom is just right across the hall from my room, and the door was open, and my dad came in and noticed that he was in there, and he came in, and Donnie just stood up really fast, and my dad said, "What are you doing?" And he just, "Oh, you know, I was sleepwalking."
This happened like 40 years, over 40 years ago, and she wants to bring it all up now. All the time I was in prison, she could have called the cops on me and had me charged for rape if it actually happened. So you know it's got to be lies right there.
Now, it came a place where he went to prison, and you kind of had a break for a little while. Is that correct, Jeannie?
Yeah. When I was about 10 or 11,
Okay.
he went to prison for close to 2 years. During that time, it was great, you know. And then the very day that he got out, it happened again, the very night. And so, you know, I woke up to him doing stuff to me, and I wasn't going to have it anymore. I'd had these 2 years of freedom from him, and, you know, I had tried to tell my parents in the past, and I just wasn't going to be a victim anymore. And so I went right into my parents' room, flipped on their light, and I just said it right out. You know, I said, "Donnie has been sexually, you know, doing things to me, and I want it to stop." And they woke up, and they're all confused, and they kind of asked me what was going on. I told them what was going on. My dad went to find him to talk to him, and he was just nowhere. He had ran and hid. And my dad went and found him out in the shed hiding.
The nuances in this case could help find Summer.
Personally, I think someone come up here and grabbed her and ran down the hill.
I think so,
and
too.
threw her in a car and drove as far away as they could from this area.
My biggest fear is, you know, her being tormented or locked in a dungeon or basement or something, because she loved to be outside all the time. That was her, unfortunately, her downfall. Because a lot of times the boys would be inside and we'd be like, "Where's Summer? Why'd you leave her out there alone? You know, go get Summer now." You know, and that's happened over and over again. And we'd come out and she would always be close by, but we was always coming up. She had to be outside. She was an outdoor person. And She
love to be outside.
Yep. And I'm so afraid that she's locked away. She's such a loving heart and everything, and I'm afraid that she won't be able to, I'm blocked away where she can't be outside or play with a puppy or anything, love nature, and it's that's my greatest fear, that she's not able to do any of these things anymore, or that she could possibly, I don't want to think she's dead, but it's a possibility. I don't want to address all the...
And then look what he does here. And I've always told Candus, watch her closely. That's my baby. Do not let nothing happen to her. I told her that all the time. Okay, so he's foretelling, he's laying the foundation that it was meant to be, that something was going to happen to Summer, that it was just kind of in the stars that something was going to happen to her. So what he's doing is saying, I knew that something was going to happen to Summer on Candus's watch. Yeah. Nothing else. He's blaming this on Candus.
I have 7 alibis. I have 7 alibis. Candus ain't got none. She's going down.
You were at work, right?
Yep. Yep.
And they've always said you were at work.
Yep.
And then...
Plus I have a good friend named Starlink. My buddy named Starlink. And, yeah, Starlink.
Okay, Starlink.
I was talking to her. What?
Stop lying.
She asked me, what? What is your question? What? I'm listening. Come on, man. What?
Hey, so that's an amazing point, Steve, that it sounds like he's connected a female into this particular scenario, and it sounds like he's connected Candus.
Have you ever heard of the spirit of Jezebel? Let me read you this. If someone has ever told you, you are such a Jezebel, you can probably assume it wasn't a compliment. Jezebel, the wicked queen and wife to the evil king Ahab, had a reputation for murder, iniquity, and sexual promiscuity. She not only served as a thorn in the side of the prophet Elijah, but she also led Israel astray in their foreign worship of idols. 1 Kings 18. Now, we may have heard of Jezebel, but not all of us have heard of something known as a Jezebel spirit. The Bible never strictly has the word Jezebel spirit, but both the Old and New Testaments have negative connotations and symbolism surrounding the name Jezebel. Absolute facts. It's right in there with you. You're a heathen, heifer. It's negative. Jezebel, biatch, all of those, you might as well put them in the same category. Those are not, it's not good. Someone calls you old Jezebel, okay? Or a young Jezebel. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, and sometimes it was referred to for whores. Absolutely. He's subliminally talking to somebody. You have to know something to be saying this stuff. Writing letters to kidnappers. You have to believe they exist to read it. Why is he talking about Jezebel? It's familiar, you guys. I'm just looking at what he is saying and not saying as usual. You understand what I'm saying? Why is Don here in his brain? Why is this a familiar spirit? The spirit of Jezebel led us directly where we are right now. What does it mean? Who the hell knows? What the hell? What in the absolute hell is Don talking about? So Don is sensing a familiar evil spirit that's not of God, that's all about incest, sacrifice of children. There were some pigs in there too, but that didn't stick out the most to me. He's saying he feels the spirit around him. Jezebel, the wicked queen and wife to the evil king Ahab, had a reputation for murder, iniquity, and sexual promiscuity. Who, Don? Who? Who is your Jezebel? Don's letter to the kidnapper for your entertainment. To the kidnappers of my daughter, I've asked God, and I believe He's given me the go-ahead to plead with you first to release my daughter. And there could still be time for you to repent and change your ways and still obtain eternal life. If not, I will ask God for your destruction in a violent way. I'm asking at this time, please let her come home. We love her so much, it's indescribable. We're so deeply hurt, just so you know how it will be if you don't let her go. In 3 days, I'm asking God for your destruction. Take it from me. Do not play with God. First of all, I hope that Don is taking his own advice, because the last line here is really some of the most truth we've gotten from him. And Don, you can take it from me. You definitely don't play with God. You do not. And my son with his silly self was like, wait, he got the wrong number. Like, that's apartment downstairs, apartment B. You know what I mean? You don't ask God for destruction. That's Satan's work. My son perceived and interpreted that. Wrong number. Donald Wells, wrong apartment. You want the guy downstairs. But anyway, Donald Wells wrote in Exodus, God wants us to read some scripture morning and night. Please try it for Summer's sake and for yourself, God and country. Just random, weird. Should be talking about your daughter. Not just throwing her in there with the Bible, but that's okay with me. Ultimately, honestly, yeah, we are praying for Summer. We don't need you to tell us that. We need other information from you. We're praying our butts off for Summer. As we dissect you, we are praying for Summer. Let's clear up the rumor that anybody that doesn't like Don Wells doesn't love Summer, because that's bullshit. The reason those of us don't like his ass is because of Summer Wells and our love for her. And everybody that supports him, well, good for you. I hope you're right. And I mean that sincerely. This is what he puts out publicly for the world to see. So, if you don't want to be judged, that's the word we're using, you don't do this. This is about Donald Wells. If you're wondering where I'm going, we already went. We started. We are rolling, honey. This is the father of the missing girl. Everything that comes out of his mouth is relevant until we find her. So Tammy Ann brings it back to base. We just want to know where Summer is. What happened to Summer? Is that too much to ask? Instead, you are deflecting and playing the victim. I think that's a fair comment. I don't get with the subliminal, because this is your baby girl. She was your angel, you said. You don't subliminally do a damn thing. You don't write a letter to kidnappers you don't think exist. And you don't give them 3 more damn days. They've had long enough.
Do you think she's alive?
Well, after all the dreams that I've had, 2 of them sent to me via Facebook, and the one that I had and the one that Candus had, I'm not sure. She's either in a really well-to-do place or it was her last thoughts.
Interesting.
Because of the dreams. And I'm going to write those dreams down in writing and share them with everybody.
Yeah.
I don't blame anybody for something I have no proof of. He had no proof of me, but he blamed me because he wanted to fire me the day before when he threw all that shit on the wall and said, I did it. Remember that shit, Don? You bringing back some good memories now.
Man, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh, I know, that's right.
Was you high on meth on the day you was fired?
The day I was fired? No. No, the day I was fired, I was fucked off because you fired me for something you did after I cleaned the house out. You trashed it. You pulled some child shit. What, you forgot? What about that weekend? You were supposed to come to work with me, and I went there and did all that, put, 5 buckets of mud on that weekend, that one day, and you didn't even go in Sunday, and then Summer's up missing, and you sit on the tub looking dumbfounded as hell like you lost your best friend. What really happened, Don?
Yeah.
Did you bury her in the damn wall in that house?
Wow. Okay.
I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm wondering. That was private property.
And what about when you said early on your thoughts? Walk me through what you were thinking early when you were seeing her in your mind in certain places, and even when I talked to you the last time, your thought about maybe she's dead and buried. Where did that come from?
Well, because the dream that I had, I'll just go ahead and tell you, I was at a construction site, but this was a commercial construction site, and I haven't done commercial since I left Houston. But this had these real big steel studs in it, and the day was just it was more beautiful than any day I've ever seen in my life. It was like perfect, and this building I in was beautiful, and I was working on it, and Summer was sitting there on the floor playing with her dolls or something, and she was dressed beautifully. I've never seen her so more beautiful, and the dream was like heaven, I guess you could say. And I said, Summer, where were you? And she says, down the road, and it was just like a perfect, beautiful dream, that I can't explain. I haven't had no other dreams since whatsoever. And then Candus's dream was that they were fishing, her and Summer, and she caught a fish, and she was really super happy, and she reeled it in, and she'd give it huggies and kisses and let it go, and that was the end of her dream.
So, trust me, this is about Summer as much as it is about Don Wells. Because after a little research and really listening to these two professionals here, I realized this man is a predator, for certain. And if he did it to his sisters, why in the hell wouldn't we think he would do this to his 5-year-old daughter that he has complete access to every single day, in his bed, mind you? Especially if Candus was out of it. Maybe intentionally he made her that way. But here's something I found. What are the warning signs of a pedophile? Overly affectionate, playful with children, hugging, tickling, wrestling, disregards, no stop, and other efforts. And I just want to throw in huggies and kisses. Gross.
And when I got home, I drove to the bottom property, and I realized that all my neighbors and stuff were combing the woods looking for her, and I realized right then and there that she was not there. I knew right then and there that she was gone.
So that made me think, is there a thing called instant acceptance when it comes to grief? Because I've never heard of it. I've heard of the 5 stages of grief. Is he different than the majority? Because here it says the final stage of grief is acceptance. The final stage of grief is acceptance, not the very first stage. Within 45 minutes. In this last phase, people begin to come to grips with their own mortality, that of a loved one, or the circumstances surrounding a tragic loss. It actually says here, the hardest stage of grief for many people is what's known as acceptance. The hardest stage. It's the final stage of the traditional 5 stages of grief. Some people are never able to fully accept that their loved one is gone, and they aren't able to change that. But you, Dawn, you knew, and you accepted it. In less than 1 hour. But see, here, as an immediate reaction, you might doubt the reality of the loss at first. Not one person in that family that says, I can't believe. Nobody has doubted anything. So either you guys are turning over a brand new leaf and instantly accepting grief, or you had a lot longer to ponder this and to go through these stages because you're at the final stage already. That is interesting to me.
I neglected to ask you last time we spoke. Was just, can you tell me a little bit about Summer? What kind of a child is she? What is she like? Well, I have a video, and it's on TikTok. The last video that my wife made of her.
I gotta interrupt you one more time there, Dawn, because we all thought this was the last video that your wife made of Summer, and it always bothered me that you said it was the rain video. I mean, I don't mean to make this whole thing weirder, but y'all know, I just want to know, what was Don talking about?
You know, he had no proof of me, but he blamed me because he wanted to fire me the day before when he threw all that shit on the wall and said, I did it. Remember that shit, Don? You bringing back some good memories now.
Man, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh, I know, that's right. Tuesday was the day she came up missing, right? Monday was the day I got fired. The day I was fired, I was fucked off because you fired me for something you did after I cleaned the house out. You trashed it. You pulled some child shit. What, you forgot? What about that weekend? You were supposed to come to work with me, and I went there and did all that, put, 5 buckets of mud on that weekend, that one day, and you didn't even go in Sunday, and then Summer's up missing, and you sit on the tub looking dumbfounded as hell like you lost your best friend. What really happened, Don?
Anyway, keep talking, sir.
She would never leave because I always, well, for one thing, we have bears and wild dogs, and we got druggies that, you know, come around, look to other people's houses and stuff, you know, all hours of the night. But this was like at 5:30 in the evening, you know.
So I've taken 33 minutes of your life to just let you hear Don Wells. It doesn't seem fair, does it? It really doesn't. But I'm trying to figure this thing out, y'all. Don, he perplexes me. I can't even lie.
Oh, so we got druggies that, you know, come around, look to other people's houses and stuff, you know, all hours of the night. But this was like at 5:30 in the evening, you know.
Let me interrupt you for a moment, Don. You say druggies. They come up in here? In here? Around other people's houses, right? What other people? Where are your neighbors at that the druggies go to, Don? Because all I see is you and Grandmama. So wait a minute. You know, there's always some truth in the lie. Did you just tell us that Grandma is the one pushing drugs around there? Because if it's not Grandma, it's you. There's literally nowhere else they could be going in this circle here. Ben Hill Road, that's all y'all. Y'all got that. So the truth in this lie is what? Druggies be coming around your house. Or you're going to Grandma's. Or there are no druggies at all and you just made that up. You take your pick. But it's one of those three.
Right, you don't bother me. What I'm telling you is the only traffic was at your house. Tell him about your ties to Fred, Don. Tell him about your Knoxville runs that supplied fucking Ben Hill, Don.
Yeah, really?
Tell him about how you really came about it. Wasn't to care for your mama. Guess who did that, Don? Oh, I don't know, Cherokee and Mom, who took care of your dying mama, you lying piece of shit. You small old dick meth smoking motherfucker. You know all those Knoxville trips? Oh no, you don't want nobody here to prove you're a meth and crack smoking piece of shit who can't fucking stay clean or do right long enough to keep your other kids. Any of them, and you're almost goddamn 60 years old, you loser. Oh, Knoxville trip, bring the dope back, have more money, take your kid with you to the Knoxville trips over the weekend, trap them in the car while you bang prostitutes and bring the dope back to the fucking holler and disperse it. Go ahead, Don, keep lying. Even know what was happening while you were at work most of the time and all the traffic at your house.
Oh, I was at work all the time. Okay, thank you.
Whew, you just keep on talking, sir. Keep on talking.
I guess, we're coming up on a very sad milestone tomorrow, with being the fourth week. Basically a month since Summer went missing. It's real discouraging. Only God can turn this around at this point. My memories with Summer and everything, that's what kills me, because we had such a great love for each other. She loved me, and I don't know why I've never had someone love me that much in my life. And so it's been awesome, between me and her. And so it's killed me since she's been gone. It's just, at first it was just so horrific knowing that someone abducted her and the cops are looking all around her house, knowing that she's not there. It's like you just talking to yourself. This ain't doing no good. But I wish the police would have blocked off both ends of Beach Creek and everything else and kept it contained in our area, because I'm sure she's hundreds of miles away. I can't blame them or whatever, but I'm upset. I'm really upset, but it's too little, too late now.
Yeah, you heard that right. 4 weeks after she went missing. Too little, too late now. And that's why I always said, keep talking, Don. Time will tell. And Don might too.
I don't know why, but they're dealing with it okay more than me. They're doing a lot better than me and Candus are. Not why that is, but I don't know. Because when I was in school, one of my guys, one of the kids that was in school with us, bought his son a shotgun, and somehow it accidentally went off and killed his dad right in front of him. And we never did see that kid back in school again, but that was his daddy, though. There's a difference, I guess. Maybe my kids are looking at it like, well, maybe God will bring her back, or I don't know. But statistically speaking, there's a good chance she's already dead if you look at it statistically. And I hate to think that. I love her with all my heart, but only God, if nothing else, I'll see her in the resurrection. As long as I keep the commandments and I do what I'm supposed to do, I'll see her in the commandments, if that's the case, Yeah, I'm not going to let Satan convince me to go drinking or whatever, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going down that road. I choose life. Choose God, and that's probably, I've never, before in my life I was weaker, and just the least little thing would be the excuse to go get drunk or whatever, but not no more. Not.
I'll tell you what I did. I went and bought a bunch of cocaine. I took it to his house. What? Really? Let me try to put this into words the best I can, bro, okay? Give me a minute. I've never told this to anyone. Why wouldn't I try to set Fred up? What the fuck is wrong with you, dude? Okay, so I was flipping out because my daughter's disappeared and nobody knows where she's at. And Fred's acting like an asshole. Gosh, dude, how can I explain this to you? The only traffic that was coming into our hollow or back that way was Fred Hill. So do you not think I wouldn't go and go back to his house and try to get answers? Wouldn't you do that? I did, and I did that.
So what you hear there is him telling me that when he was gone for the 4 days, it was to buy a bunch of cocaine to take to Fred's house to try to get answers out of Fred.
Has your theory about what happened to Summer changed any since we spoke a couple weeks ago? No, she was abducted. There's, I forget how you put that, reasonable deduction or however you say that. You're talking school, but by that theory there, yeah, she's been abducted in my mind, 100%. I know Candus wouldn't lie to me about any of the facts. She has no reason to, she wouldn't lie.
Do you believe that she's still alive? Do you have any intuition that she might still be out there somewhere?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
All I know is, I believe in God.
I love her with all my heart. People could say she could be here right now. People could say anything in the world to her and I would face her. But if I said, Summer, why'd you do that? She would break down in tears and just start crying. And I would have to say, Summer, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. I'm so sorry. I have to say that 10 times over just to get her to calm down and hug her and hold her constantly. And I didn't mean to ever do that, anything like that. I would have to apologize to her and tell her, I'm sorry, Summer, I love you with all my heart. I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. She said, that's okay, Daddy. So.
Do you think that she can be found?
I hope and pray. I hope and pray with all my heart. I don't know what's going on.
You've been very vocal. Why have you been so vocal? That's what I guess a lot of people want to know.
You want me to tell you why I've been that way?
Yeah.
I've always been really shy. I've always been not that person whatsoever. But what made me that way is for Summer. And that's the only reason.
Yeah.
That's the only reason. If I can do anything possible for her, you damn right I want to do it. That's the only reason. I don't give a damn about myself. But for her, I'll do anything. I'll give my whole life for her.
What does your gut tell you? What do you think she is?
I don't know. Your brain goes from one end of the spectrum to some meth head, dirty son of a bitch got her, done all this and that, and killed her and threw her in the freaking river, and then the next minute your brain's on the other. Maybe somebody give a freaking hell about her and treat her good. Your brain just goes like that from one end of the spectrum to the other. You can't help that. It's just human nature.
Wow.
It's hell. It's pure hell.
So I was wondering, how does your wife feel? Does your wife think that it's related and that it has something to do with Grandma?
It could be related. We don't know. That's the thing. We just don't know.
When's Summer's birthday?
Who's?
Summer, your daughter. When's her birthday?
Summer's birthday, baby. What? What is Summer's birthday? I don't know.
You don't know?
Guess we don't know.
You're telling me that you and your wife Candus does not know when your daughter's birthday is.
I didn't say that.
You just did. Don, you just asked Candus.
You said when Summer's birthday.
Yeah, when is Summer's birthday? When was she born?
Yeah, when is her birthday?
You tell me she's your daughter.
I don't even know my own birthday.
That's a problem.
Why is that a problem?
That you don't know your own birthday? That you love your daughter so much that you're willing to go on TV and do this and TBI, I'd give my life for her, and you don't know when your own birthday of your own missing child is? Come on.
Oh man, it's analytical.
Oh, analytical? No, I'm saying what everyone is thinking. Don, you need to get your shit together.
Oh, hell no.
Hell no what? You don't know when, and neither does Candus? That speaks volumes.
Oh, hell no.
Hell no what?
Oh, fuck you, hell.
Fuck me, fuck you. No. I know. When is your daughter's birthday? You're telling me that your wife and you don't know when your kid's birthday is?
Oh, fuck you, man.
No, not fuck me.
Whatever.
No, it's not whatever.
You're gonna lose them.
Listen, you can call me a bitch all day. That's great. That's fine. But think about what you just said to me right now. Think about that. You don't even know what your only daughter, and you don't know when her birthday is, and neither does Candus?
Oh, fuck you, man. You're being fucking way overbearing about some stupid shit. What's about her fucking life?
Molly, you're gonna lose them. Stop.
Yeah, when was she born? I'm asking about her life. When was she born?
Fuck off with that shit, man. Man, fuck you.
Alright, fuck me.
Ask them what things you went missing.
I'm sorry, but I thought it was a very important question.
Well, it is.
Well, then, and you can't answer it.
I don't give a fuck about what year it is. You got me all fucked up.
Let me talk to them.
About what fucking year it is? I fucking work my ass off every fucking day. You think everybody gives a fuck about that?
Yeah, do you know your daughter's birthday?
Man, fuck you.
No.
Man, no. You ain't gonna come off to me like that.
But no. I'm not being mean. I'm just.
No, fuck you.
Alright, fuck me.
No, fuck you. Her life is way more important than her fucking birthday. Man, fuck you and that bullshit.
But did you hear what you just...
Fuck you. You ain't gonna come off to me like that bullshit. No, fuck that.
It's February 4th.
Fuck what year it is.
It's February 4th.
Summer. No, fuck you. I care about Summer. I care about her life. I care about fucking all kinds of shit. Why is her fucking birthday, her actual exact second that she was born?
No, I didn't ask you the exact second. Just the day. Just the day. It's February 4th, and let Candus know.
5 years with that little girl, and loved her with everything I got. Worked my ass off for 5 years straight. What the fuck have you done? Run your fucking mouth? You're gonna run your fucking mouth? That's it, man. Fuck you. That's the fuck you think you are?
I'm no one special. I'm just someone that cares about where your baby is. That's all.
Man, fuck you, bitch.
No. How can you say fuck you when we...
I raised that fucking little girl. I fucking done everything I could for the little girl. Man, fuck you. I was in the hospital when she was born.
What day was that?
My ass off, man. Fuck you. Shut the fuck up, bitch. I fucking raised her. I didn't fucking ask for nobody's help. I built this fucking addition over here. I've done all kinds of shit that you have no idea. You have no fucking clue, motherfucker. Don't you fucking raise your voice to me.
I won't. I respect you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What the fuck does it matter what fucking exact day she was born? All that matters is I fucking raised that little girl. I fucking loved that little girl for 5 years straight. Who the fuck are you?
I just wanted to know if you knew her birthday. And you didn't know neither did Candus. And that was it.
Man, I don't even give a fuck about my own fucking birthday or the president's birthday.
No, I don't know the president's birthday either.
I can give a fuck less about anybody's fucking birthday. Every fucking fiber of my being, I love that little girl. Don't even come up to me like that.
I won't.
I can give a fuck less about my own fucking birthday. My birthday's in a few days. I don't give a fuck. 5 years straight. Who the fuck are you?
I just wanted to know if you knew her birthday. And you didn't know, neither did Candus. And that was it.
Man, I don't even give a fuck about my own fucking birthday or the president's birthday.
No, I don't know the president's birthday either.
I can give a fuck less about anybody's fucking birthday. You live,
Happy birthday.
That's it. I don't give a fuck about what year it is. I always love her. I will never forget her forever. No way. But you know what? I do know this. If I keep God's commandments, that's way important. Keeping God's commandments, that's more important than anything. The birthdays, dates, time, that shit don't matter.
Is that Candus?
God's commandments, that is important. And I'm not doing a good job with that. What the fuck do you do, God? I didn't do that. I'm fucking really? Anyway, I apologize to you, okay?
It's okay. I can take it.
Well, I'm a bitch too, sorry. My bad. Oh my gosh. I'm a bitch too. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I'm not proud of it. I'm not trying to be that way. I apologize.
I'm just so really ill-tempered because, you know, it's that time of the month and everything for me.
Well, look, I have like 6 kids. I can remember one of my kids' birthday, 1/11/11. That's wise, and that's the only reason I can remember that is because it was September 11th. Oh, it's not wise.
That's 9/11.
Man, fuck you. It's 1/11/11.
That's November 11th. And whose birthday is that?
Yeah.
1/11/11.
I said that.
Hi, Candus.
Don't throw shit at me, bitch.
I don't know shit at you.
Sorry, I'm bad at birthdays and stuff, but you know what? That doesn't. I don't give a damn about birthday. I don't care about birthday. I only care about the fact that I love people. And I love my kids. It doesn't matter about the birthday. Okay, it might be important to you, so I apologize to you for that.
It's okay.
1/11/11.
I said that.
Is that Josie's birthday?
It
Oh. Okay, that might be important to you. Okay, but that doesn't mean nothing to me. Okay.
Okay.
So for that reason, I apologize to you.
It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yep. I'll be down. I'll be right down. I know I said that's a couple hours ago. Fuck you.
Tell him to talk to me.
And the person that's important to me. It's just me that the birthday don't mean shit to me. I mean, I'm sorry. Time don't matter. It's just like, I don't know. I'm just a different person, I guess, okay? I'm sorry. I know with you women, birthdays and stuff like that's important.
Yeah.
But to me, it's just, I don't care about that kind of a thing. It's just about the person and their memory. I mean, who they are. I'm sorry. Okay. And for that reason, because I was insensitive to that, I apologize.
It's okay.
Because women are different. They like, okay, I get it. I'm sorry.
It's all right. Don't worry about it.
I know. I feel bad now.
No, don't feel bad.
No, I owe you apology.
It's all right. You already apologized.
No, I owe you.
No, it's all right.
In the spirit of, you know, John Wells letting us know that turned his life around, I wanted to know who he used to be. And so this is where we're going this evening. I just have gone to a few states because your boy got around. Okay, so we have the state of Florida right here. And it was in the 90s. Dispositioned in 2000. There it is, your boy, Lil Handsy. battery, first-degree misdemeanor. Okay, in Florida. And now we'll go on down to Texas. And we had a little burglary with intent to theft. Either way, broke in and tried to steal something. It was in the 80s. Remember, we're looking at who he was. A little more trouble in Texas over in Dallas. Now we evaded arrest and resisted arrest. Another burglary. This was in Arkansas. So that's 2 more burglaries. I want to make sure I'm clear on that. That's a total now of 3 burglaries. Also in Arkansas, possession of a controlled substance without prescription. 3rd offense, and it's a Class C felony. There is a 2nd battery in Hillsboro. Let's see, this is Utah. More theft, more burglary, more theft, a lot of theft, contempt, and failure to pay fines and costs. Well, and that's not, of course, murder, but we're just looking at who he was. That's who he was. So, has he changed? Has he changed? I pray to God he has. I hope he grew out of all this. He's had a lot of run-ins. Has he changed?
Don, you're on speakerphone. I'm just warning you. You're on speakerphone.
And you're sitting there running your mouth.
We're going over theories. I just said.
You know, I have a theory that you're a dumb bitch. Is that a good
Don, are you drinking tonight?
No.
Because you would not be acting like this if you weren't.
It's just a theory. Oh, you want to hear something? It's just a theory, eh? I got all kind of theories too. Why? What? Shut up, baby. Shut up. Why in the fuck is it so impossible for somebody to fucking kidnap our kid? Why do you...
I said it would be one of the 5 people that were around her that day.
Who was?
I said it would be one of the 5 that were around her that day.
Oh, nobody can come up here and just kidnap her, huh? That's impossible, right?
Not a random, no.
Oh, okay. That's impossible.
A random?
And what the fuck is she?
A random?
What the fuck is she, man? Obviously, shut up. What the fuck is
Hey, let Candus, I mean, you're yelling too, so why can't Candus yell?
No, man, you sitting there running your big fucking cock-sucking, dick-licking mouth and saying all kinds of shit. Shut up.
We're going over the News Nation videos.
Fuck you.
Somebody, you're not letting me explain what I said.
No.
I said...
You guys ain't looking at the fact. Y'all sitting there running your mouth.
We're watching your interview today.
No, fuck all you.
Hey!
Fuck all you bitches and hoes.
Don, I know you're drunk right now. You would not have said that had you not been drunk.
That's a fact. No,
you're lying.
Fuck you. I'm sick of all you. Go ahead and keep running your mouth about us all night long. I'm sick of y'all. Y'all say it's impossible that somebody could...
I was just watching the freaking live, or the video. I hadn't seen it.
You have that little bitch on your channel.
No, I don't. It's the video. I didn't even... I was watching the News Nation videos from today.
Well, whatever. You still have the little bitch on your channel.
Well, I don't understand what upset you because I haven't... This wasn't even that bad. I don't understand.
Everyone of you know that Summer was abducted, but you got to keep running her name in the ground and keep running us in the ground. Listen. My story hasn't changed from day one, and it never will because I told the truth from day one, and so is Candus, and it never will change. It will always be the same because we've always told the truth. We have nothing to lie about. So listen, the story from day one. Summer was abducted.
So there you have it. That's it. And that's all. He's right. His story hasn't changed from the beginning. It just seems strange to have ever needed a quote-unquote story to be told, when the truth would have been just fine. Anyway, we've taken a look at Don and his many facets. At the end of the day, does it mean anything? Summer's dad, a heavy drinker with a mouth like a sailor, a possible racist. Does it matter that he shows the signs of a pedophile? Let's just call it what it is. Not to mention he has the history. Is it not weird that even though he was at work, he has been extremely vocal in telling the story? It just makes me wonder, did he come up with the story? I wonder what really happened to Summer. I'm not saying Don did anything, but I'm damn sure not saying he didn't. But only God really knows right now. And I just pray for justice. Summer Wells, she was in trouble before she went missing. What I mean is family dynamics. If we're looking at her family dynamics, which by definition ultimately influence the way young people view themselves, others, and the world, well, I guess I said enough already. Children who grow up in households with unhealthy family dynamics, abuse, neglect, overly strict parenting, overly loose parenting, poor communication, insecure attachment styles, etc., are more likely to develop mental health disorders and may experience more difficulty within relationships. She was surrounded by unhealthy relationships, harmful behaviors, poor interaction, ineffective conflict management. Absolutely. As in domestic violence, as in Candus and Don cussing each other's asses out. Let's just call a spade a spade. So if nothing else, you can see the dynamics of her family. And I will see you in the comments, beautiful people. Oh, by the way, there's a part 2 to this, but it won't be about Don.